by Engaged Creative. I am Sophie and I'm so excited to be joined by Nadean Richards from New York Bridal Market by One Fine Day.
Thank you, Sophie. I'm excited
first
to
of
be
all,
here.
this is like full circle moment because
This is full circle.
I worked for you for so long and it was the best time ever. So tell me a little bit about New York and your rebrand, kind of go from the start.
Okay, so New York Bridal Market for One Fine Day has been going for, 7 years now? Something like that, maybe 8.
Pre-COVID days.
We are doing, actually, what am I talking about? It's our 10th year anniversary next year.
Is it?
Yes.
Shows the
I
age
forgot
of
about
ours.
that. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
So One Fine Day is all about finding the right designers that are meeting the current bride.
Yep.
So our goal is to make sure that we've got a curated selection at our show that's, speaking straight to the brides today, so that when the buyers come to our show, they're picking from a good crop. They don't need to go anywhere else, and it's a curated experience. You get drinks on arrival. We've got activations happening. It's a beautiful environment. Designers actually enjoy what they're doing by being part of it.
And I feel like you have curated it so well because like you walk past a designer and like then the designer that's next to them is complimentary. And it's like, okay, you've got this price point or this aesthetic, but then, you've also got this designer as well. So it's like very complementary brands that sit alongside each other, but still work. So really brands can come there for the full day and like really explore new up and coming or kind of more bigger names like Hayley Page that's there.
Yeah.
And you've really covered kind of all bases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our vision's all about designers growing, buyers buying smarter because we're bringing them exactly what they need.
Yep.
And, being able to talk directly to the bride and growing everyone's business at the same time.
Yeah. So people that haven't attended One Fine Day, how would you you obviously gave like a little bit of an intro just then, but so what makes your show so unique and curated for designers or retailers that haven't attended yet?
Yeah. It starts from day one. We know the current bride. So we also have another company called One Fine Day Wedding Expo. So we have the consumer side of the business. So we understand what the brides want. So we start at the very beginning curating the right designers that are speaking to the current brides.
It's such a full circle moment. You really are seeing like what these brides are wanting and then bringing it to the retailers and making it as easy as possible for them.
Yeah. So when buyers walk in, they know that every single brand is aligned to what the current brides are wanting.
Which is so good. And I feel like your background having that One Fine Day wedding fair experience makes firstly a very chic experience. It's the ease of kind of setting up and being able to have a beautiful space that you can walk into, but then like having that background tangible knowledge, okay, these are on brand. I know that these brides are going to love this.
And we're not about volume. Like we don't need to have every single designer in the space. Like we don't want to be the, Barcelona of New York. We just want the best all under one roof. We want to make it easy. So the buyers have one job. They walk in, they have their glass of champagne, they do their business, they enjoy it, they engage, they go away with amazing content, they get the best dresses, but they're buying for relevance, not volume. So they are getting the right dresses and not wastage.
Yeah, of course, because your time is so poor when you're in New York.
Yeah.
So how does your team and yourself curate the designers and brands that you really are aligned with? What kind of is that process that you go through to be like, yes, you meet the criteria of One Fine Day and the New York bridal market experience that you're bringing?
Yeah, as I said, we're very selective because we understand the bride.
Yeah.
We kind of assess it through a few different filters. The relevance to the modern bride. Does it speak to the current Gen Z who wants the simplicity, the fashion, sustainability, personal expression, because that's what they want.
Yep.
And we'll get to trends, I'm sure, later, but they don't want to be in a costume. They just wanted to be an elevated version of themselves. So, that's how we're trying to look. We also commercial viability, make sure that
absolutely price points.
Yeah. And buyers can actually walk out the door with the gowns.
Yeah. So then that leads me into like what trends and shifts have you noticed in the buyer behavior in the last 2 to 3 seasons with this shift, and it's even maybe goes back to like social media and the shift of that, and these buyers starting to ask the brides in real time, like the buying experience. But what do you really see the trends and the shifts are happening at the moment?
So I think the buyers are definitely following the digital journey.
I think that it's so funny because when I first came to Bridal Market, you would definitely present a collection. It was like great front, back, sides. But I now really feel like these retailers are involving the brides on their social media.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, because the buyers are looking at the designers that have the strongest brand identity online, because they're the ones that are connecting. So if designers are connecting straight with their audience, right, and then they book their appointment,
yep,
and they go to their show, they've got a much higher opportunity of conversion rate and walking out with a dress,
yep,
than if they had no idea who that designer was.
Yep.
And someone that does that really well is Trish Peng.
She's so cool.
You just want to be in the room with her because she's so authentic. Yeah, we love her. And that's got to help the conversion rate. So I think buyers, the change in how they've done it in the past is definitely finding the people that do content really well online, because they're the ones that are connecting with that bride.
Well, it even goes back into like a marketing sphere. What in particular Trish Penn does so well is that founder-led content, that you really start to connect with her as a founder and like her story and her relevance to a brand. So I think that right now that's so much more relevant more than ever. I guess obviously running this gigantic business from Australia is a massive operation. How on earth do you do it? And also, what are big learning points? I mean, obviously COVID was a huge thing to obviously navigate, but how do you essentially do it all from Australia, but on such a global kind of taking on New York essentially? How do you do it?
I think we were lucky, but I think luck is earned, and it's earned with hard work, right?
Yep.
So we saw a gap in the market when we went over there and figured out that what the buyers need is everything in one place instead of, because New York's a nightmare.
Yep.
But how we run it is I have an incredible team and they are always working around the clock to make sure their service is like, that's the thing I always get the feedback on, that their customer service. Yeah, she's incredible.
Excellent. Yeah, I've heard
and the whole
that.
team and the social media and the emails and the whole experience.
Yeah, your email marketing is incredible. Like whenever I get an email, it's interactive, it's exciting. You've got like, I remember I even got one right before market, and it was like the coffee shops that are around the corner, or like favorite places to eat, or what are hotels that you recommend. And you're not pushing your designers, but you're pushing the overall experience.
Well, and that's what we're trying to tell our designers. Like you've got to show up on content. You've got to show them content that's relatable and put your faces on. So if we're telling them, these are the restaurants we go to, this is my team, these are the faces, like then when they walk into the show, they're already engaged with us, and it makes hopefully their intent.
Experience. Yes, absolutely. And I mean, I think as well, you're really like, I don't think many designers are based in New York. So you having that experience for them on a platter, and essentially you are creating a community. I'm sure that like, what I've found from the designer's perspective when I talk to them is they actually make friends with all the other designers that are showcasing with them. Like they are making friends with the people that are next to them, or they meet them at your party. And I think that whole family, like we're not competitors. We actually are on the same page because we all want to work together to make it better. I think.
And that's what I've always been about. The rising tide lifts all boats. Like, and do you remember Karen Wills Holmes was like helping the younger ones who didn't know how to do a draft sheet. And So it's all about that. And I think obviously it helps when you have great partnerships like the Wedding Pro, the Knot were at market this year and they did an incredible activation. And then post-show, it's really important to do surveys, talk to the customers, figure out how we can improve. And we are constantly doing that for not only the buyers but designers as well, and improving every year. And we've got some exciting things coming next year, so it'll be like
so excited,
a full year, because it's hard. We show twice a year and we come on, we come off, but we want to keep that conversation going throughout the year. So
So what do you think, I mean, this is your kind of opinion, and I know that we've obviously referenced Trish Peng, but what makes a designer stand out at market? Is it their space? Is it how they engage? Is it their pre-work that they do before market? What do you really feel like?
You pretty much nailed the answer. Yeah, look, obviously buyers remember people with energy.
Yeah.
And if anything COVID has taught us, it is about relationships and connections. So it's not that hard to put on a face, get a nice dress and turn up, standing up.
I mean, you might be a carcass afterwards, but it's better.
But yeah, and having energy, putting some perfume on, I don't know, getting your hair done.
Totally.
Because so many don't. So many just sit there and eat on their stand. And like as you referenced Trish Peng, she is immaculate. Her whole team is immaculate. And that's the kind of experience because they're trying to sell the bride that they want to talk to, right?
Absolutely.
So anyone that's done some pre-work, making sure they are talking to all of their buyers beforehand, letting them know what they're about to walk into, the experience, helping them out with even like, this is how you get to New York Bridal Market. Make sure you've got your ticket. That'll help you and make sure you've done your appointment times and everything. And then I guess lastly is the organization post-market is probably the most key because you want to make sure you're taking notes during market, making personal, like if they comment about their kid or I don't know, anything like that, making sure you include that in their email so it doesn't look like just a big blast up and follow up. Because the people that don't do the pre and post work, they don't have the conversion rate that you see with some of the bigger ones.
Well, I think that also like people think that going into market, they will happily allow people to just walk by, and that definitely is a great model for sales, and that's what makes, you know, New York Bridal Market by One Fine Day so great. But but I think that like that, you know, being able to walk by, but I think showing up to those people and trying to make those appointments beforehand, but then personalizing it afterwards makes it so good that yes, I hope that long journey back to Australia was great, or like whatever it is.
Whatever it was that was personal, because then they're like, oh, they actually remember me.
Absolutely.
And the last thing I will say is not all business owners are salespeople.
Yes.
So if the designer is a bit introverted, make sure you have your best salespeople on the stand. I'm sure they are lovely people, but if they can't sell, they're not going to convert. So the designer can be there to, you know, explain things, and but you really need a salesperson at your stand to make the best of market.
I think as well, having the designer there kind of also is like sales, yes, but then also you're starting to hear feedback firsthand of, okay, maybe I do need to introduce like a drop waist next season, or maybe this retailer is starting to have this perspective, or even starting to see what other designers are doing. Like, okay, this is giving me, more confidence in my brand and where I see the direction of my brand.
And someone taking notes, all the feedback. That's the purpose of going to the shows.
Yes, absolutely.
It's about actually finding out what the buyer wants if you're not quite in touch with the bridal network.
So then I guess on the retailer side, what do you think sets a successful boutique apart during bridal season? What do you think that these great boutiques that come to New York Bridal Market by One Fine Day, what really makes them, you know, successful?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, with content, those that have done the research, those that have done the research before coming to market, but actually engaging on their social media content. So asking for polls, asking for
what do you prefer, this
comments,
or that?
Asking for comments, asking for just all the information so that before they go to market, they know where their trend gaps are. So if everyone's asking for a big bow thing, then they know to keep an eye on the big bows. And then when they do see stuff at market, if they've got a strong social media presence, they can quickly get some feedback from their bride straight away and say, hey guys, are we liking sparkle? Like, do you think I should go down this route? And that changes the whole experience. And they end up buying stuff that's actually relevant to the bride right now. And then the storytelling comes into place, and the brides go, oh, I helped them buy that sparkly dress.
Totally.
And then when it comes in, they've already got a sign up.
Absolutely. It just makes the whole journey so much more involved and engaged for the brides right now, which I think is just so key. You just need to connect to your audience. So what are you excited for New York Bridal Week by One Fine Day for next year? Is there anything that you can share?
Trends is an interesting one because I'm not personally a fan of trends so much.
Yes.
And I think as Hayley Page spoke to this pretty well as well, there's a lot of wastage in trends and things like that. But the consumer, the bride now, is more about coming in and finding an elevated version of themselves and not dressing up as a costume that they would not relate to.
Yep.
So trends-wise, In terms of the dresses, I think they can be a bit misleading, a bit of a waste of resource. But if you actually listen to what the bride wants, she just wants that elevated version.
And I think what makes this designer at the moment currently so successful is you're not listening to trends. You obviously can incorporate right now a drop waist is very on trend. Or, you know, right now adding a cap sleeve.
I hate drop waist, can I just say?
Yeah, I don't mind it, but I couldn't wear it.
It doesn't look good on...
Like, I don't mind it.
I don't know.
I just couldn't wear it. But like maybe me as a bride when I'm 10 kilos skinnier, maybe I could.
Whatever.
But anyway, I'm just saying like what makes a successful brand at the moment from a sales perspective, I feel is they can come and go with trends but staying true to your brand. And, you know, I've referenced, you know, in the past, someone like Rue Design. They have really stayed authentic to the Rue Design kind of look.
They absolutely have.
And they really have not that we know that they're boho, but they have come and gone, but now they're kind of really doubling down and niching on who they are as a brand. And I think that that's what makes a brand successful at the moment is identifying who you are, but then also following those trends, but also keeping it current and true to what your brand is.
Yeah, so I think you've nailed it with the niche. So when people go niche, they have a much more targeted audience and a conversion rate is way higher than if you just everything for anyone.
Yep. Yeah. I think that, you know, I've actually seen that firsthand with Stephen Khalil. We work very closely with him and we said to him, you need to double down into the Stephen Khalil aesthetic. Like you really need to go into those beautiful big beaded gowns, those heavily embellished, true Stephen Khalil silhouette. And seeing that from Bridal Market, he was so successful because buyers ate that up. They absolutely loved it. And I think really nailing that is what makes you successful. The New York Bridal Week by One Fine Day is a whole experience in itself. Talk me through what a typical bridal market looks like for you behind the scenes. I mean, honestly, Nadean, if I'm going to have to think about when I worked for you, I remember like the 4 a.m. starts and like then going out at night because you want to party with everyone. I still can't believe I did this. I'm like, how would I do that now?
Work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard, but it is nonstop.
The loading truck at 4 a.m. when you're trying to eat a bagel.
It's like, so much fun though. How good are those bagels? Fun. No, it's a great time. It is like work hard, play hard, but I think the challenges are worth the triumphs in the end.
Yes.
But it is nonstop. Like we are coordinating thousands of buyer invitations, PR campaigns, designer logistics, signage, furniture, everything behind the scenes. You know, the appointments, the run sheets, the photography, social, everything,
your
making
website
it beautiful,
is,
premium and
blah, blah, blah. It comes into, you know, there's just, obviously you have an incredible team behind you that kind of helps facilitate it.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that I'm sure you're already planning for not just April, but October now. You know, I'm sure it takes a full year of planning and get I think everything.
That's the team is so amazing that they make it look effortltless. So yes, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but when you walk in the door, it's calm. There's French music playing, probably the same playlist from the one we created.
But I really feel like as well, you're a trusted brand. You have been around for a number of years now.
10 next year.
Yeah. Like, you know that when you come to New York Bridal Week by One Fine Day, you are really there. You're going to be looked after. You come with experience and like it's an effortless kind of experience for the designer.
Yeah, well, we know how to do events.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So it's important to know events, but we just have that competitive edge that we also understand the brides and what they want, so we can pick the right designers.
Really goes in the circle, doesn't it?
It's a full circle moment so that, you know, you're not wasting your time by coming to New York Bridal Market by One Fine Day.
Yeah. Okay, lastly, my favorite question. Is there a standout moment, a pinch me moment? I mean, Nadean, from my perspective, I think when I saw you sign Canoe Studios, I was like, yes.
That was a highlight.
That was pretty cool. But talk to me about a standout moment. Was it a particular designer? Was it as simple as seeing everyone come together and kind of really start to share, you know, their experience, or like what really kind of was a standout?
So I think obviously we've done it, I think close to 21 times, 21 shows we've had over the last 9 years. So there's obviously lots of challenges, triumphs, everything in between.
Yeah.
And what do they say about New York? Like if you can make it in New York, you can make it everywhere, because the challenges are like normal people would not be able to, like they're heart attack stuff.
Yeah, heart palpitations.
Yeah, full on. So But when I think about one of my triumphs, I think about one of my recent ones. It was the end of a show on day 2 and everything was quiet. There were only a couple of vendors left in the building. We were trying to usher them out. And as I went closer to a store, I heard this big scream and about 4 or 5 girls were jumping up and down and I ran over and it was Trish Pang. Oh, they had just signed one of the biggest Italian retailers. Oh my God, and they were like, I still get, I caught it all on video for them. They post it on their socials.
Oh, so
and that is like, when it's a win for the designer,
it's a win for you.
It's a win for us. Yeah. And the fact that Trish Pang has been with us for the last maybe 6 years. And when she first started, she was like a 3x3.
Yeah.
Now she's a massive 7x7. And she is the pinnacle of what we're about. Like growing every year, keeping momentum, doing all the shows, 2 shows a year, making sure that you keep turning up slowly, getting better.
Feedback.
Relationships, that momentum is priceless. So that was probably a really nice moment and well deserved as well because they're a great team.
And it's like a great win and a testament to you as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's nice. That's you get to see the other side.
So is there anything exciting that you can share or is it a stay tuned for 2026? What have you got on the cards next year? Anything that you can kind of bring, or is it that you are sold out?
We are close.
You are close.
Yes.
That's insane.
We are very close. So our rebooking rate was off the chart. So obviously any designer that starts with us has the opportunity. They get a lockout of like if they want to rebook, they can have the same stand because we appreciate loyalty and that kind of thing. So sales are flying off the chart. We are looking for bigger space. We've got some really exciting partnerships coming up. Cool. We're looking at, an editorial phase throughout the whole year, not just around market time. Yeah. And we've got some guides as well that you can download to make your experience, or if you want to grow as an emerging designer, we've got lots of resources where you can start downloading how to do that and, hopefully one day be part of our show.
Well, I hope that everyone has the pleasure of attending the beautiful space that you put on. It's definitely very fun and also like kind of calming still when you walk in from the craziness of New York. You walk in, you kind of were like, here's a champagne. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice.
It's quiet. It's nice.
And, totally.
Yeah, and there's breakout areas.
And the lighting is just beautiful. Like it makes it a very calming and welcoming
content
experience.
Creation.
Absolutely, which is
what we're all about.
Totally.
And that's the point of coming to New York and investing in all that travel and money. Yeah, but it's showing that, anyone looking at those boutiques, they can trust their vision. They've actually gone to New York to resource all of the best dresses. So I'm going to go to my local boutique because I know they just flew to New York and got the best stuff.
And also your space is just so incredible for that booking the space, you're going to get great content or your buyers are going to get great content from
it's all about
physically
the
being
venue.
there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
lighting's great. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm excited for next year. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
You're a
Sophie.
wealth of knowledge. So I'm excited for next year and what is to come for New York Bridal Market by One Fine Day.
Oh, you're a legend. Thanks, Sophie.